Here's a reality check that might make every digital publisher lose sleep tonight. One of the industry's biggest players just revealed they slashed their Google dependency from 65% to just 30%, and they're still thriving. But here's where it gets controversial. They're betting everything on the assumption that traditional search is dying, and some experts think they might be dead wrong. Let me break this down for anyone who's new to the publishing world. People Inc., you might know them better by their former name, Meredith, is essentially a media empire that owns dozens of popular websites covering everything from recipes to financial advice. Think of brands like Travel Leisure and Food Wine. These aren't small blogs. We're talking about massive digital properties that millions of people visit every month. Now here's what's happening that should terrify every content creator. Artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping how people find information online. When someone searches for how to bake chocolate chip cookies, Google's AI might just give them a complete answer right there on the search results page, without them ever needing to click through to a recipe website. And this is the part most people miss. That click-through is literally how publishers make their money. Alysia Borsa, who runs the business side of things at People Inc., dropped some eye-opening numbers during a recent industry conference in Miami. She revealed that when their company acquired Meredith Corporation back in 2021, roughly 60 to 65% of their website traffic was coming from people who found them through Google searches. Fast forward to today, and that number has plummeted to just 25 to 30%. That's not a gradual decline. That's a fundamental shift in how people consume content. But here's where the story gets really interesting and, frankly, a bit unsettling for traditional publishers. Google has been pretty transparent about their future plans, essentially signaling that their AI-powered search experience will eventually become the standard way people search for information. Borsa put it bluntly. Google is, to some degree, alluding to the fact that AI mode will become the default search engine going forward. Translation? The days of people clicking through to websites for basic information might be numbered. Now, you might think this spells disaster for a company that built its business on search traffic. But here's the plot twist that challenges everything we think we know about digital media. Despite losing nearly half their search traffic, People Inc. claims their overall revenue and traffic are still growing. How is that even possible? The answer lies in what Borsa calls traffic and revenue diversification. Basically, not putting all your eggs in the Google basket. Instead of panicking about AI taking over search, they've been methodically building alternative pathways to reach their audience. They're investing heavily in email newsletters, social media presence, Apple News distribution, and, something that might surprise you, real-world events and experiences. Let me paint you a picture of just how dramatically they've expanded beyond digital. People Inc. now hosts over 60 live events annually. They took their successful Food Wine Festival in Aspen and expanded it to Charleston. They've launched a standalone People app and created specialized services like MyRecipes Recipe Box, which lets users save and organize recipes from across their various food websites. These aren't just side projects. Borsa revealed that their events business alone is experiencing double-digit growth, helping offset declines in traditional programmatic advertising revenue. But here's where things get particularly intriguing and maybe a little controversial. While most publishers are scrambling to figure out how to optimize their content for AI platforms, People Inc. is taking a different approach. Borsa admitted there's simply no playbook for succeeding in the AI era. Instead, they're focusing on what she calls quality in and quality out, essentially betting that good content will find its way to audiences regardless of the distribution method. This raises some fascinating questions about the future of digital media. Are companies like People Inc. pioneers who are successfully navigating the post-search world? Or are they making risky bets that could backfire? Some industry observers argue that completely abandoning search optimization might be premature, especially since AI search results often still need to pull information from somewhere, and that somewhere is usually traditional websites. There's also the licensing angle that adds another layer of complexity to this story. People Inc. has struck a content licensing deal with OpenAI, which means their articles can appear in ChatGPT responses with proper attribution. While this provides some revenue and brand exposure, critics argue that it's essentially training their own competition, helping AI systems become better at answering questions without sending people to the original sources. The health and finance content sectors that People Inc. operates in have been particularly hard hit by Google's AI overviews, those summary boxes that appear at the top of search results. Meanwhile, their travel content has remained more resilient, partly because travel planning typically requires more detailed, subjective information that's harder for AI to summarize effectively. What makes this situation even more fascinating is the broader implications for content creators everywhere. If a major publisher with massive resources and diverse revenue streams is struggling to maintain search traffic, what does that mean for smaller bloggers, independent journalists, or niche websites that rely heavily on Google for discovery? Some experts argue that People Inc.'s strategy of building direct relationships with consumers through apps, newsletters, and events is the only sustainable path forward. Others contend that search isn't going anywhere, and companies that abandon SEO strategies might find themselves invisible in an increasingly crowded digital landscape. The timing of this shift couldn't be more critical. As artificial intelligence becomes more sophisticated at understanding and synthesizing information, the fundamental value proposition of many websites, being an intermediary between questions and answers, is being challenged. Publishers are being forced to evolve from information providers to experience creators, community builders, and trusted advisors. Here's what really keeps me up at night thinking about this. Are we witnessing the early stages of a complete transformation in how information flows online? Or is this just another technological shift that the industry will adapt to, like the transition from print to digital or the rise of social media? People Inc.'s approach suggests they believe we're in the former scenario, a fundamental restructuring that requires completely rethinking how media companies operate. Their investment in events, direct consumer relationships, and diversified revenue streams suggests they're preparing for a world where being found through search is nice to have, not essential for survival. But here's the controversial question I want to pose to you. Is this the right strategy, or are companies like People Inc. overreacting to what might be just another algorithmic change? Are they brilliantly future-proofing their business, or are they abandoning proven strategies too quickly in favor of unproven alternatives? What do you think? Are we really entering a post-search era where direct relationships and alternative discovery methods will reign supreme? Or will traditional search optimization remain crucial for content success? Have you noticed changes in how you discover and consume content online? I'm genuinely curious about your perspective on whether this dramatic shift away from search dependency is visionary or risky. Share your thoughts. Are you seeing similar changes in your own industry or content consumption habits?